Okay, so is it time for us to review trailers, Tone?
Yes!
Trailer Talk! Trailer Talk!
Trailer Talk.
Trailer Talk.
I'm Kevin Williams, and I'll be trailer talking with my incredible co-host, Anthony Tone Show Nunez.
Love it, love it, love it.
Susan Finkelstein.
Hi, everyone.
Yay. Okay, Tone, what's our next victim?
Antlers is an upcoming horror film directed by Scott Cooper and produced by Guillermo del Toro, J. Miles Dale, and David S. Goyer. It stars Keri Russell, Jesse Plemons, and Jeremy T.Thomas, and much more. Antlers is set to be released in early 2020. It is a Walt Disney Studio Pictures release, but it is a Fox Searchlight Pictures production. This is one of those films that they acquired in the whole Fox deal. And remember, for those El Weekly fans that listen, Fox Searchlight was basically where the more indie creative projects under the Fox umbrella went. So Kevin, what's a synopsis for Antlers?
All right, Tone. In Antlers, a small-town Oregon teacher, Keri Russell, and her brother, the local sheriff, discover that a young student, Jeremy T.Thomas, is harboring a dangerous secret with frightening consequences.
Okay, so Antlers, the fact that Guillermo del Toro is attached as a producer on this automatically made me want to watch the trailer even more, because lately I've always been a fan of Guillermo del Toro. Before his Oscar win, I was still a fan. I know a lot of you guys are bandwagon Guillermo del Toro fans who came out after the Oscar, but I've been with him since Pan's Labyrinth. I was with him since Hellboy. And this movie, I don't think is going to disappoint. This is not him directing, but it definitely has that Guillermo del Toro tone to it. And I can see maybe why he was attracted to the project. Now, I'm a fan of Keri Russell. Like, whenever she does a movie, I want to check it out. And Jesse Plemons, who you guys probably I was introduced to him in Breaking Bad, and ever since then he's proved to be a very capable, talented actor. That Black Mirror episode that he was on. Ah, man, that was one of the best Black Mirror episodes, and I think he gave a lot there. So these two actors already got me hooked to this. The trailer itself, I love horror, and I even love more when they cut a child. This kid who's playing the child in this movie, like he nailed the creepy tone. Like when he's reading a story throughout the trailer, telling you about supposedly this fairy tale is happening, which is very Guillermo del Toro, and it's intercut with these scenes that are nothing like a fairy tale. So the whole trailer, when he's describing events happening, they're really horrific events, but he's describing them from the point of view of a child, which I love that dichotomy. I love that double speak, let's say. And at the end of the trailer, we see a very Guillermo del Toro-like creature, very like Pan's Labyrinth, but more monstrous, and it's just a very quick glimpse of it. So I was sucked in. When I saw the creature, I'm like, this is a monster flick. I'm definitely in for that. This is coming under Walt Disney Studios, like I said before. So it's going to be interesting to see how Disney does with this. This is a horror movie, and they're releasing it under Walt Disney Pictures. So I thought they were gonna keep one of these names before and say Fox Searchlight Pictures, or keep one of these Fox properties or names or brands and try to release them under the kind of like New Line Cinema. But it looks like Disney just released under Walt Disney's Pictures. So it'll be interesting to see how these movies perform and what type of, if it changes the Walt Disney brand a little, since they're being released under that. But I'm definitely in for this one. If I can get away, if my wife lets me go, like if I can get somebody to babysit, because my wife hates horror movies. She's like Tachi. So if I can sneak away, I will watch Antlers in a movie theater. But if not, it's Netflix for me.
Okay, you mentioned the little boy that is narrating the trailer. I want to go over this story that he's telling. So he says, once there were 3 bears that lived in a dark and wet cave up above a small town. Every day, little bear went to school. He would come home and eat dinner. But one day, little bear came home, and big bear and baby bear were different. Big Bear got sick and his insides turned dark. Big Bear has become angrier and meaner because they had no food, no meat. Dramatic pause. But they had each other. So you're right. The images that are being flashed as this kid is like nonchalantly reading this disturbing story of what exactly happened to Big Bear and Baby Bear, what made them turn dark, and what did they turn into. It absolutely is creepy, and it's gorgeous looking creepiness. It's kind of Oscar worthy kind of creepiness when it comes to cinematography. It's gorgeous looking. One other thing I wanted to mention is, this may sound a little harsh, but let's call him Little Bear. We see one of those quick flashes. We see him being beaten up by a much bigger kid. He's being bullied, or in adult speak, he's being assaulted by some mean kid. And later in the trailer, we see him making some kind of trap in the woods. I hope that trap is for that little bastard that was beating him up in school. And I hope that Baby Bear and Big Bear feast on the flesh of that kid because he's a total ass. So I hope he goes down. There is a spookiness that Guillermo del Toro is known for, and you're right, mixed with a fairy tale and an otherworldliness, a kind of a scary kind of dark magic fairy tale kind of vibe that I'm getting from this. And I too am a fan of Keri Russell, but as I was watching this and I was watching her looking at this little boy so disturbingly, and then hear her later in the trailer letting out a blood-curdling scream, all I could think is, I bet she was back in New York where no one was trying to eat her and everybody was calling her Felicity. So, I'm going to give this is a definite Netflix for me. I will be watching it probably won't be available on Netflix until Halloween 2020, or it'll be on Disney Plus or something. Wherever it ends up, if I have that streaming service, I will be checking it out. And it is an absolute must. Cocoa, popcorn, Halloween, rainy night. I'm all about it, but not enough to actually pay to go to a theater and put pants on. I like my cocoa and popcorn pantsless, thank you. All right, Susan, what did you think?
You mentioned a few things here. My initial interpretation, I just saw the trailer for the second time, was when I was watching it, yes, it is. I like that suspense. I like that creepiness. I like that, sort of gory things that the flashbacks that they present. But initially, as I'm watching this, I'm thinking that the way I read into it is that it has some sort of cannibalism in there, because that part where they're like cutting, it looks like flesh. And then when the little boy says, "We have each other," I'm thinking, did they like start, I thought it was partly sci-fi, and thinking, oh my God, do they start eating each other in this movie? That's what I got out of it. It is cinematically beautiful, so I like that, and I do like horror films, and I am a Keri Russell fan, and I'm excited to see her in something other than, doing drama. Like, I don't even think she's actually ever been in a horror film, so it'd be interesting to see her here. I would say that if the moment allows it, I would definitely go to see it in a movie theater. And if not, it'll be a Netflix for me.
Well, you mentioned the whole thing about cannibalism. I think that the cannibalism will come into play, but I don't think they're eating each other. I think when we see this little boy making these traps in the woods, I think that he needs to feed the beast that his father and his little brother have become. We don't know what's caused them to turn into whatever they've turned into, but I think that, being a good son / brother, I think that he goes and gets them what they need to eat. They have no food, he says in the trailer.
How thoughtful.
Okay.
So
I guess it's open for interpretation.
Yes, I think it is open to interpretation, and I think it's gonna be one of those it puts the lotion on its skin kind of movies, if you ask me.
Okay.
Trailer talk. Trailer talk. Trailer talk.